Super.
Water. We all need it, even if some of us don't drink enough each day. The new article in National Geographic is debunking some of the common myths about staying hydrated. Here to help us break it all down is Tracy Southwick with the Heights of Health. Good morning to you. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
There are so many thoughts about how much we need to be drinking a day. With your expertise, what do you say?
Well, that's a great question because a lot of people talk about it, and it's super important right now with all the heat. So generally speaking, in the natural health world, we talk about drinking half your body weight in ounces of water a day. So if you weigh 150 pounds, your baseline should be 75 ounces of water a day. And then, of course, if you're exercising, you're sweating, you're out in the heat, you want to increase that.
What are some signs that you might not be drinking enough? I've always heard if you feel thirsty, hey, you're behind the times. It's too late. You're already dehydrated.
Yeah, absolutely, because the thirst mechanism for most of us doesn't kick in until we're maybe 1 or 2% dehydrated. And that's when the mental fog kicks in. That's when the lack of coordination kicks in. All these things that happen, you're already dehydrated.
So it's time to remember we need to stay on top of that. What is the best way to do that? There are so many opportunities. You see all these sports drinks. Does it come down to good old-fashioned water?
Usually it does. So there's some caveats to that. Of course, you want to do pure water. You want to do clean water out of glass, if possible, or stainless steel, something that's not going to leach chemicals into the water. But drinking water in spurts throughout the day instead of a lot at once is much more healthy for your body. Your body can absorb smaller amounts. And of course, you need to think about electrolytes, especially if you're out in the heat. So, a lot of these electrolyte drinks, sports drinks, are loaded with chemical dyes. They're loaded with sugar and things that we don't want in our bodies. There are many out there that you can find that are maybe powdered electrolyte drinks that are sweetened naturally, low in sugar, no chemicals. That would be a good option. Even taking a little Himalayan sea salt, a pinch, and putting it in your water can help with electrolyte balance, assuming you don't need to stay off of salt for some reason.
Oh, that's an interesting thought. I've never thought about doing that. What about coffee? Because I know I'm sipping over there on my coffee all morning long, but I always hear that the caffeine will dehydrate you. Or do you need to try to make up when you're drinking tea or coffee?
That is a good question because I used to tell people that for years because you think the caffeine dehydrates you, and it does a little bit. It definitely does, but you're still getting the value of the water and the fluid
that's good to
in
hear.
there. So definitely count that towards your water, but if you're drinking a lot of coffee, increase your water a little bit.
Oh, that makes me feel better.
Yes.
What about, are there any minerals or anything that we can do to just make sure that our body is staying super hydrated?
Well, sodium and potassium are the two main ones, electrolytes, magnesium as well. And a lot of these electrolyte mixes or drops that you can put in your water will help with that sodium-potassium balance so that we don't get dehydrated, because that can be very dangerous.
I see a lot of people who carry around huge jugs all day long, and they're just trying to make sure that they get their amount. I see other people just chugging it because they want to get it over with. Is it okay to chug, or do you need to do it slowly?
You need to do it slowly, about 4 ounces at a time. And of course, if you're super thirsty, if you've been out in the heat, I was gardening on Sunday and I went in and drank a huge glass of water. If you're exercising for every 30 minutes, you need an extra 8 ounces of water to compensate for that. Of course, you're going to want to drink it while you're exercising, but pre-drinking it also helps.
All right, Tracy, such good information. Thanks for taking time from Heights of Health to come in and help us out with it.